What is going on? This is Andy Francis, and today I'm going to be giving you some wide receiver futures bet going into week one of this NFL season. It's going to be your last chance to get these season-long futures in until they adjust the totals on a per-game basis. But last week I gave you my favorite running back season-long futures bets. Today I'm going to go with some wide receivers that I really like. Something else you'll probably really like is going to DraftKings, where you just bet $5, and if you're a new user on DraftKings Sportsbook and you add $5, they're going to give you $200 free dollars, and there's no better time to do this than right before week one. You can either double it, lose it all, save it up, whatever you need. You're putting in $5, they're giving you $200, and maybe you want to put in $5 on one of these, and then maybe you even want to put the $200 on the rest of them. So my strategy here with these wide receivers, you're not going to see a single over on this list, because what I like to do is attack. I mean, this isn't a nice thing that I do, but it is what I do. I look for receivers who are either injury prone or coming off of season-long injuries, because we know typically after a season-long injury, it usually takes the following season for that player to round back to form. You really have two chances to win when you bet these. You have the chance to beat it straight up, and then you have the chance that you get lucky with injuries. And nowadays, I mean, you get injured for everything. They get injured in real life if they get injured in Madden. There's like some voodoo doll stuff going on there. So I'll be looking for players who qualify, and the first one for me is Robert Woods, who tore his ACL, I believe, towards the middle of the season, like right when they brought Beckham in. Now he's going to be over there in Tennessee. What is Tennessee? That's a run-first offense. And when is he really going to be back to form? And then usually a first-year receiver in a new system, usually you need reps with the quarterback. You don't know if there's any sort of chemistry. We've seen many instances where players' productions have dropped under a new quarterback or in a different kind of system. We don't really know how healthy he's going to be. Probably going to be on a limited snap count to start the year. And they got the over-under at 800.5 yards. I hope he gets to 798. I mean, doesn't it feel better for some reason when you really squeak it out? But I really like the under on Robert Woods' yardage total. Then I'm going to go to the guy that he's essentially replacing, A.J. Brown, under 70.5 catches. I'm not sure, but I think the highest total he's ever hit is around 70. And he did that with Ryan Tannehill throwing him the ball. Now, we all know A.J. Brown's a great receiver, but this is a two-sided bet. Number one, I know he's young, but this is not the poster child for good health here. A.J. Brown, he's always coming up gimping, hobbling, his knees, elbows. It's like I don't know, but this guy, he's missing games every year, even though he's young. Maybe it's just the style that he plays. And they're putting the over-under at 70.5 catches. And we're talking about a system under Jalen Hurts here, who already he has a good rapport with Davante Smith and Dallas Goedert, and it's a run-first team, and he's a run-first or semi-run-first quarterback. 70.5 catches is asking a whole hell of a lot. If this was still on Tennessee, sure. Remember that guy he used to play with last year? Well, I'm going to be looking right at him. Maybe you don't remember because he kept leaving the field every time he came on, and that's Julio Jones. They have his over-under at 550. Now, if you've been in a coma the last couple years, you're like, what? Julio Jones? 550? This guy could not even practice without re-injuring his hamstring. Every single game he had to leave with a hamstring. How many snaps can they even rely on him to play? And especially as the year goes on and you're going to get the closer to full health, Godwin and Russell Gage will be out there with Evans. Rumor has it he's been brought in there to replace Gronkowski in the red zone. And then, yeah, it's a weird Brady year. I'm 1,000% going under on that. Like, his hamstring, it's way worse than you're thinking. Like, I know you're like, oh, yeah, the hamstring. No, any Julio Jones owner in fantasy will tell you he cannot make it through a single game. So I'm gladly taking the under 550. His hamstring's finished. It's finished. Remember that Greg Jennings video where he was hobbling down the whole field and he scored a touchdown? That's what he's going to have to do to top 550. The next, now this doesn't have to do with injury. This is one of my favorite picks. This is a personal one. You might get angry at me, but I'm taking under 99 catches for Davante Adams. There's a couple of reasons, but number one, you got Josh McDaniels going over there, and he's running an offense with Derek Carr, who already notoriously loves working the middle of the field, who are the two receivers who truly flourished these last couple of years under Derek Carr. You're looking at Renfro, you're looking at Darren Waller, and now they're adding in Adams, who's an unbelievable receiver. But throughout his career, Carr simply refuses to pepper the outside. And if you want to hit 99 catches, it's going to require a little pepper. And I don't think he's going to sprinkle it on there, especially with all the good looks Waller and Renfro are going to have now with Adams drawing all that coverage. So give me the under 99 on Davante Adams. And then George Kittle, under 66.5 catches. The way he plays, he knocks himself out of games every year, whether it's 2 games, 3 games, 4 games. He hasn't played a full season in a couple of years. Don't think that's getting any better at the age of 28, 29. Then when you factor in that they're transitioning from Garoppolo, who loved Kittle, to a quarterback who they seem to trust so little that they ended up bringing Garoppolo back as a backup, I'd honestly only be worried about this if a Garoppolo comes back in. But Kittle under 66.5 catches. We don't know what Trey Lance is going to look like, but we know how great of a run blocker George Kittle is. We know they have 2 great wide receivers, and this is going to be a run-first offense. Definitely taking the under 66.5 on George Kittle. I'll be back with you one more time to talk about must-have season-long futures. It may be ones that I brought up already and I'm just going to cement the point, or maybe a couple random ones, but I will see you then for that video. Take it easy, like the video if you can, subscribe to the OddsShopper channel, and I'll be back with you soon.